It's time for another episode of SJHL Weekly, presented by our friends at UPL. I'm your host today, Clark Munroe, here at the IKS Media Studios. We had an 11-game weekend to tell you about as we enter the month of December. We'll recap the players of the month for November, talk to you about the players of the week. We'll recap our Movember campaign, which went extremely well. Thank you to everybody there. We'll get into that in just a moment. And we're going to be joined by Nipawin Hawks forward Mason Karakochuk as we have a good chat with the red-hot Nipawin Hawks lately. We'll see what he's got going on up there in Nipawin. But first, we'll thank our sponsors, of course. We'll start with Cantera Seeds, Capital Auto Mall, Canalta Hotels, SGEU, Sask Lotteries, UPL, Chevrolet, Great Western, SaskTel, RBC, Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association, and our Viking Cup sponsor, Vatterstad. So thank you to those guys. And of course, before we get started, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, please hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the retweet button, and send in your comments. We want to hear from you throughout the show. So please send in your comments. We'll put your comment up on the screen. We'll read it out loud. Maybe it'll spark a conversation. And as I said on YouTube, as you can see below, hit the like button and send in those comments. Let's bring in my co-host for the day. It's Jamie Neugebauer. Jamie, it was an eventful week. Lots going on. Mondays for us are always busy, of course, but the first Monday of the month is always busy. It's extra busy because there's a lot going on. You told me when you walked in today. Feels like I've written a million articles, so there's a lot of content out. But how was your weekend, I guess?
Yeah, what a blur. I'm trying to think what I did. I don't even know.
Yeah,
typical.
I did a lot of Christmas decorating myself.
Okay.
But yeah, no. What about you?
Yeah, when you have two young kids, boy, it is a blur. I honestly can't remember a single thing I did this weekend other than write recaps.
Yeah.
And such. Talk to Kyle McIntyre about the Viking Cup. I don't know. Not much. I can't remember.
Well, Movember wrapped up this weekend, Nuggsy. That was one thing that ended up. We both we didn't shave. Neither of us. We kind of both got lazy.
I'm just going to bring my beard back.
We didn't clean it off. That's what I'm doing as well. But our Movember campaign, Nuggsy, went super great. And thank you to everybody who donated or helped by raising awareness through sharing posts or anything. Let's have a look now at how we ended things off. Last year, we raised about $21,200-ish. This year, we beat that by $1,500.
Well, that's awesome.
So thank you to everybody for jumping in. As you can see, the Yorkton Terriers. Yeah. Seriously. The Yorkton Terriers are going to be going home with that pizza party. So I don't know if they want to start holding somebody accountable for that, because I don't know where that's coming from. But they're getting a pizza party. They're getting a trophy.
I told Tylen Henriksen already, you organize it, you send us the bill, and we'll figure it out.
There you go. We'll figure it out. So there it is.
But it's on Tylen Henriksen to get it done, really.
And speaking of him, why don't we have a look at the individuals who led the way on the ice in terms of, these are the players you can see highlighted in gold. Connor Miller was the top player fundraiser in the league. 2 years in a row now, I think he has that title. So unbelievable job there for Connor. Carter Onright of the Estevan Bruins did a great job, and his teammate Oliver Cramp is right behind him. Evan Ald and Tylen Henriksen for the Yorkton Terriers are in there. Calvin Takarchuk, shout out to him, by the way. Speaking of the Yorkton Terriers, Reese Nyland of the Melfort Mustangs did a great job. And Nolan Patterson of the Mustangs as well. So there's the top player fundraisers highlighted in the gold there. So good job to everybody. And again, huge shout out and thank you to everybody who jumped in. Obviously, in the last couple of years, our Movember efforts have really stepped up. And next year, maybe we make the goal 25K from the start and see if we can get there and just make it a big old target from day one. But we've been doing so great, so thank you to everybody there. Let's have a look at the Sask Lotteries look back now as we jump into the weekend and have a look at this recap. We'll recap the scoreboards courtesy of Elk Ridge. Here's Friday's scores. As you can see, Estevan and Humboldt had a 2-game series. Estevan got off to a good start in game 1 with a 5-4 win, a really close game. Melville with a 3-1 win over Battlefords. Flin Flon in the battle of the #1 teams in the league going into the weekend. Flin Flon got a win in game 1. 6-2 over Kindersley. Weyburn got a 5-0 win over Larange. Nipawin snuck out a 2-1 win over Melfort. And then on Saturday, a lot of these teams played each other again. Larange got their revenge with an early afternoon 2-1 win over Weyburn. Estevan swept their weekend series with Humboldt 5-3. Battlefords got a 2-1 win in overtime over Melville. Flin Flon got another win over Kindersley, 4-1, Nugsy. That's going to be a big storyline as we head into the rest of the show. And then Melfort got back in the win column with a 6-2 win over Warman. And then Warman on Sunday drove to Yorkton and suffered a 6-1 loss to the Terriers. So there's your recap for the weekend, Nugsy. So why don't we have a look at the main headlines coming out of all of that as we look at the headline segment here. Black and Gold, they let the dogs out. $1 million solution, supremacy, and odds and ends. And what does all that mean? Well, let's start with topic number 1, Black and Gold. That one seems pretty obvious to us, but it's Estevan and it's Nipawin. They both have been playing some great hockey lately, and as of today, they're tied for 3rd place in the league, Nugsy. There's a question coming out of this, but let's start with just their weekend. Estevan with 2 big wins over Humboldt. Let's start there. Yeah. And really kind of sending a message, I think, to the rest of the league.
Yeah, I mean, again, Humboldt's still getting healthy on the back end, and so there's a piece of that. Obviously, big news for Humboldt to get Brady Holtvoet back in there. But I think because of a little bit of, I don't know if desperation is the right word, but feeling a little pressure, they went with Charlie Tritt both nights, and not to blame Charlie, because you can see a lot of these goals are of the grade A variety, but you don't expect Humboldt to give up 10 goals over a 2-game series. They are a much better team defensively than that. They know it, but the real credit does go to the Estevan Bruins offense. Obviously, Rylan Williams, 4-goal game. It's his first career SJHL hat trick. He's played a bazillion games in the SJHL, and it's his first hat trick, so congratulations. And he scored again the next night, so he's got 16 on the year. Obviously, his line mates, Rennie and Cash Olsen, have been dynamite, and I think all, especially Olsen and Williams, will be part of awards as we talk about it today. We've got a lot of awards to give out, too. A lot of
nudge.
Yeah, very physical, too. I mean, I think the Humboldt Broncos MO the last couple of years is really try to beat you up, and to the Estevan Bruins' credit, they really pushed back. And you know what? If you're gonna push this Estevan team, you better kill penalties. You better not give up goals because they can score at ease. And it's a huge weekend for in the standings because Humboldt, they have taken a bit of a tumble in the standings, and we'll look at that. Obviously, it's too early, and too tight all around to worry that much. But I'm sure Braden Klamosko is feeling a little bit of heat right now.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, you texted me last night, and you're like, Humboldt's an 8.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like you kind of lose track. You don't pay attention for 2 minutes, and all of a sudden they were in first place not that long ago. Really, at the end of October, they were first place, and now we're sitting here and they're hovering on the edge of the playoff picture. So that's one of the crazier storylines, I think, for sure. And maybe we'll dive into that a little bit another time very soon. But that is a really, really interesting turnaround.
Yeah. Well, they're
from
making
where
moves.
they were.
I mean, Braden Klamosko is a Humboldt boy. Like, he's got to be feeling it a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, don't panic. They brought in Levi Cosma. They brought in Cameron Grande on the back end. They brought in Jason Walia on the back end. They're looking to make more moves ahead of the freeze. I can tell you that. Can't tell you more than that, unfortunately. But you know what? Again, don't worry, Humboldt. There's still lots of track here, but it is brutally tight. So. You know, 1 weekend or 2, then they're back in it. They're back at the top 4, but it just shows the parity in this league. It's crazy. Yeah,
I was having a good chat with Benny Walchuk this morning.
Who?
Benny Walchuk, my boy. We were having a good chat for his upcoming show, and this on Tuesday night. And that was my biggest thing. Is like for a couple of years now, we've really been, really forcing through this. There's a lot of parity in the league narrative. And this year is definitely in that
getting
same,
more and more suffocating.
It's definitely in the same, but I'm thinking this year there's a lot more swings this year than in past couple of years.
But that's real parity.
That's where it is. And I look at how Flin Flon was out of a playoff spot in October. Now they're in first place. I look at how Melfort had they were pretty solid to start the year. Now they're in 10th place. I see how Humboldt was in first. Now they're in 8th place.
So I have a theory of why this is. So I'm going to ask you, do you have you thought about maybe why this is, or do you think it, like, I have a theory, but do you have one before I just throw it out?
I don't have a theory necessarily. I love it because it's really keeping things interesting. It's making our job real fun.
Sure. But my theory is the league's younger than it's ever been.
Younger. Okay.
And younger guys
I like that.
tend to be, 1 week a little bit less consistent than the other. It makes the games exciting, the hockey exciting. Like this Humboldt Estevan series was absolutely electric, and it could have gone either way. So it was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
But they're both everyone's a little bit younger.
I like
so
that. That's a good point. Really, that's a good point. And a lot of our top players, like to your point, are young players, which is great to see. It's good for the league, and it's keeping things interesting. That's for sure. But the other half of the black and gold we haven't got to yet is the Nipawin Hawks. And they had another good week. They've won 4 games in a row now overall. And they had a big win here over the Melfort Mustangs, their division rival.
Yeah, look at the speed of Finley Radloff, man. When he gets going, he can fly, and we've known that for years. And that's the Nipawin Hawks MO, and he's kind of been their poster boy to some degree. Obviously, Eric Hoynes is really starting to take off, but I think again, if you're going to beat the Melfort Mustangs in Melfort, I don't care where they are in the standings. You need to be gritty. You need to stick with it. You need to be patient. And this Nipawin team did that. They tied it late in the third period, as you see right there. They were patient. They had their chance, but they were patient. Kason Kabelka was very good, as he has been all year. And then it's Eric Hoynes, who a lot of people were like, where is he? How come he hasn't been producing? What's up? He has really ignited. And then you throw another, electric talent on the pile of talented Nipawin Hawks, and it's great to see Eric Hoynes kind of figure it out. And then, obviously, what do we always say about the Nipawin Hawks? Where did it start, really, with the Nipawin Hawks?
The back end.
It's Gage Roberts.
Yeah, right? Gage Roberts.
35 saves in Melfort. I mean, we always said Charlie was 1A and Gage was 1B, best in the league. Is it just 1 and 1 right now? Is it Gage 1A now? Like he's been unbelievable.
Well, his name's going to come up a couple times later on the show, and I
love Charlie. Don't get me wrong.
Reading your previewing, I should say, your Players of the Week article that's coming out in about half an hour. And maybe this is a huge spoiler that I'm giving out, but I think maybe it's obvious at this point. 3 in a row. Goalies of the weeks for Gage Roberts. We just can't stop saying his name. He just keeps popping up, and there's a big reason, like you said, why Nipawin has 8 points in 8 of their last 10 games. He is just he's a brick wall back there, and it's funny. It's not funny, but it's interesting because he went through a little bit of a stretch where he struggled a few games in a row to a point where I remember when we were talking to Tad Kozin for one of the Friday night spotlights. He said, no, we're going to give Colton the net, and Colton Scott in the net in this one. Gage had a rough outing. So even though in that game, I can't remember exactly, it was Nipawin versus, who was it that week? I can't even remember. But it was a big opponent, and that's a game you'd think Gage Roberts would be a shoo-in for. They gave it to Colton Scott. Since then, though, that was a while ago. Since then, no, it's Gage Roberts all the way, and he's been lighting it up. So shout out there. Like you said, it starts with him, and it's gone from, and we talked about this as a big storyline early in the season, it's gone from low-scoring games but winning to now they're scoring a lot of goals lately.
And winning.
And winning.
Well, Gage has won 6 in a row. And speaking of winners, just like to segue, we can't keep this program going without saying a big happy birthday to Stephen Turner.
Hey, Stephen Turner. He's not in the back room today.
He's not in the back room, but a big part of what we do here. There you go, Paul Durant, our boss. Big shout out to Stephen Turner. I don't want this broadcast to go any further. Stephen's a gem. Great attitude, too. And thanks for everything you do, Stephen.
Good shout out there. Topic number 2 in the headlines. What was topic number 2?
Oh, yeah. Let the dogs out.
Thank you.
Let the dogs out.
Yeah, and before we get copyrights, cut that off, absolutely. And it's the Terriers. The Yorkton Terriers they've let the dogs out. They've won 3 in a row. It seems like some of their players are really popping off production-wise. Their defense, their goaltending has been solid, Nugsy, and they got a couple wins this week as well. So what can we talk about now here with the Yorkton Terriers? They have a big game tomorrow night. We'll talk about that later, of course. But where have they put themselves in the last little bit here?
Yeah, they totally dominated Warman in every facet of the game. What a save that was, by the way, by Callum Craig on Pearson Lindorf, who's quietly having a terrific season.
Yes.
But anyways, the Yorkton Terriers, we've talked all year about their top line.
Yeah.
Obviously that's Leonard, that's Korshane in the middle, and that's Jai Zawatsky on the left. That line has been wonderful all year long. They've been so consistent. It's who else? Who else? Who else? And guess what? They had 6 different scorers in this game. We've seen Cash Lanigan, really turn it on lately. Jake Briltz scores his first goal. Of course, his brother Carter was a Yorkton Terrier last year, and a Weyburn Red Wing, and a Victoria Royal, blah, blah, blah. So there's connection there. So good for Jake Briltz to score his first goal. But that top line is huge. Callum Craig, we talk about Roberts, we talk about Tritt a lot in that top 2. That third guy in the league, is it Dylan Adams? Is it Callum Craig? Like, he has been that good for Yorkton too. Obviously, Tommy Reese, they're going to have to live without him for a little bit with the Junior A World Challenge coming up. But that'll be interesting to see how the Terriers do without Tommy, because Tommy obviously plays such a big part for them on the back end. But we're seeing it from everywhere up front. So it's very interesting. And Clark, you've talked about it a lot. You've said it a lot. The Bungie. Who is the best team in the Bungie? We don't know.
We don't know.
Who knows?
And maybe this is a really good opportunity for graphic guy Jordan in the back here. Let's cut this highlight short, Bryce, and just throw up the division standings if you guys don't mind, because this is a really good segue. We've talked about Estevan. We've talked about Yorkton a little bit here. Look at the Bungie division, and I was talking again to Benny Walchuk. This came up in our chat. 6 points from first to fourth in the Bungie, and look at how good all the 4 teams have been in their last 10 games.
Crazy.
They're all above 500 in their last 10 games. Melville's picking up some wins here. Yorkton and Estevan are both hot, and they've won 7 wins in their last 10. Weyburn, maybe that's deceiving, 5-4-1 in their last 10, because they've been playing some good hockey too.
Yeah.
And boy, that division we called it earlier. I still believe, and I know you believe this too, because you called Melville to win it. I think I said Yorkton to win it. I think. But I still think any 4 of those teams could win this division come the end of the day. And there could be more than one of these teams with home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs, I think, as well. So this is it's a crazy division. It really is. And it's fun to see those teams continue to pop it off. Speaking of the division, let's stay in the division with topic 3 of the headlines, Nugsy, as we just go down the highway a little bit. And the headline is going to be $1 million solution. Have the millionaires found the solution that they've kind of been looking for with some younger guys in the crease? And that is Matthew Spencer Dahl. He had a fantastic debut for the Millionaires after getting acquired early last week. The 20-year-old goalie, Nugsy. What can you tell me about his week, but just the Millionaires overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think Spencer Dahl, and again, no disrespect to that, because like they have this. He's their 6th goalie they've already used this year. That's not an exaggeration. I'm not saying like 6
different goalies.
6 different goalies. Look, Spencer Dahl is exactly the goalie that Doug Johnson always seems to have.
Yeah.
It's not like the Noah Synagowitzes of the world, as good as he is.
Yeah.
And I really like Noah, and I think he's going to be a good goalie.
Absolutely,
or even
I think so
Fuzz,
too.
or the other one, Svensson Doyle, etc. Like they're kind of smaller, athletic. He wants big and not flashy, and make the simple save. And it doesn't matter if you're diving across. Just keep it simple, keep it calm. And obviously, one thing that Spencer has above those guys is he's older. He's 20. He's been around the block. Of course, he had a couple of years in the SI.
He's had some success.
Some success. It was a tough time in Winnipeg, and when you're playing behind a team that's really struggling, it's hard to look good if you're a goalie too. And obviously the Winnipeg MJ teams there have had a hard time of it.
Both of them,
hard to get anything really from Spencer Dahl's start to the season there in the MJ. But you know what? The Melville teams, either power play is not great. No offense to anybody. I'm sure they're working on it. But 5-on-5, they're as good as anybody in the Bungie division. If they can get that power play clicking.
Yeah.
And obviously they got a couple 5-on-3s against Warman. Cal Margolis scored a nice one on the power play against Warman on a 5-on-3. And they have the pieces. You'd think Rylan Oatman and Cale Margolis and Boston Harkness are made for the power play. You'd think. So they have the pieces. But they found a way, and they went into Battlefords and beat them. And what were we talking about last week? We were talking about how red hot the Battlefords North Stars were.
That was a big topic last week,
This Melville team's not going to be afraid of anybody. Obviously, Doug's got his system, his structure. Their defense is very sharp. They've allowed 3 goals against in 120 minutes of hockey.
Yep.
Spencer Dahl's given up 1 goal in 120 minutes of hockey. Again, he wasn't tested overly too much against Warman, I would say, but much more in the game against Battlefords here that he played in. And hey, if Spencer Dahl can continue to be who he is, because the sample size is tiny, then they're going to look good, especially with Gourley having a couple goals. Braden Gourley, they brought him in to be a piece, and it's taken him some time to fit into. But they have Gourley, you throw in Oatman, you throw in Margolis. They have weapons, and they have the goaltender they think now. So, time to go here for Melville, because there's not, as much as we say it's early, Clark, it's a it's a jungle. It's a jumbled standings. It's tough to gain ground. So you can't just be dropping points. But Melville had a good weekend, and they played pretty well all year.
Well, speaking of the jumbled standings, this definitely helped to jumble the standings as we move on to our fourth headline, actually, of the headline segment. And that is supremacy. We're going to call it supremacy. And the reason why that is because coming into the weekend, the Flin Flon Bombers and the Kindersley Clippers were tied for first place with 31 points. As of today, Kindersley's in fifth. Like, that's how quickly this happens. The Flin Flon has a 3-point cushion now in first place after being out of a playoff spot in October, which happened again last year. We talked about this. I know maybe it sounds like we're a broken record, but they have now gone on such a hot streak that they have a 3-point cushion for first place. Kindersley obviously tied for third, so technically they're not in fifth, they're tied for third, but they sit in the fifth spot because they've played the most games now in the league. But boy, now they've lost 3 games in a row, and Flin Flon has won 5 in a row, and they are now no doubt the first place team, the top team in the league, Nugsy.
Yeah.
I mean, what a crazy weekend up at the Whitney Forum.
Well, I mean, they own November, the Flin Flon Bombers. There's no question in my mind who the best team in November was. We talk about parity and the league being tight and et cetera, and it is. Yeah. But Flin Flon was the best team by a million miles.
Sure, absolutely.
In November.
No doubt.
And I think, for Kindersley, the first thing I'll say, it's interesting timing to make that Oshovi trade to Melfort. As much as I like Aikens, I think he's going to be a great piece for them. They lose Jackson Herchak, for a couple of weeks now
for
the Junior A World Challenge as well.
Yep.
So they're down Oshovi, of course, because they traded him. They're down Herchak. And so, hey, the rest of the rest of the decor, time to step up. Obviously, who's going up to the Whitney right now and playing well, 52 shots. Look at that. The depth scoring is going everywhere. I don't even know if you call it depth because there's guys second, third line, fourth line on this Flin Flon team that are good. And I wouldn't say they have the top line like a Yorkton, like an Estevan, where we just sort of circle a line and be like, this is the line, and then stop everybody else.
Right.
Like, they're deep. I wouldn't say, but I also don't think they have that line. So it'd be interesting to see, if they add, they're without, Daniel Morozov isn't healthy right now. Nathan Lalumiere hasn't been healthy for a while.
Yeah.
So they got some injuries. Obviously, their best forward all year has been Joey Lees, but other than him, it's a lot of guys being a different hero every night, which is hard to stop. But it's interesting once you get deep into the playoffs, whether what will Mike Reagan do?
Who will be that guy?
Who will be that guy? And between now and the trade freeze, will Flin Flon be looking and aggressive to add pieces up front to a little bit more of a regular goal scorer, even though they're flying right now? Mike knows that flying right now doesn't mean anything flying later. Nobody's flown in the regular season in this decade like Flin Flon. So Mike's going to be adding, I think, not to sound negative on the Bombers right now, they're locked in, but it's interesting to see just the way they built their roster.
Yeah, and you know what, Newsy, the parallels to last year are pretty crazy in this regard, because when you think about it, last year, we look back at how they started their season and they struggled, and there was a very, very, very clear turning point. It was the arrival of Matthew Keeper, the goaltender, that really just solidified things, and they went on a massive run. What was the turnaround this year? The arrival of Sam Ward. Basically, since Sam Ward stepped on the ice with the Flin Flon Bombers jersey, they've won almost every single game. And they didn't have, coming into the season, they had a very young team overall, and we've talked about how young Flin Flon is compared to what we're used to seeing for them. Yeah. They had a very young team. They didn't really have a guy coming back. They had a lot of defensemen coming back. And you know what? I think Mike Reagan would say I was super excited with my group coming back. I love having that many returners on the blue line, but they didn't necessarily have the guy. They didn't have that offensive juggernaut that they have had almost every year. I think of
not that they knew of. They really liked Fauchon, and they still do.
I shouldn't have. Yeah, you're right. I should maybe I overspoke there. They really liked Fauchon, but they didn't necessarily know. And coming in, I think we gave him that title because of what Noah Houle had done in the past, and because of what some other of those French defensemen that they've had in the past. So I think we gave him that. But really, Sam Ward coming in and really kind of alleviating that pressure, taking a lot on himself, and putting up a ton of points. Has been, I think, that turning point for them, and he's allowed other guys to be better around him as well. Yeah. So I think that
they're balanced. They're just balanced.
The parallels to last year are crazy, and it just seems like they've both years they've had that one turning point player.
Except the goalie they brought in this year, 17.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't the Matthew Keeper.
And hey, Finn Werner has been awesome.
Yeah,
don't get
he
me
has
wrong.
been, yeah.
But he hasn't had to be amazing. Let's be honest. Like he's facing 20 shots a game.
Wow.
Still, you got to
Yeah.
save this. The pucks are coming at you.
It helps when your team is throwing 45 to 60 on the other net every single night.
That's nice. Gives you
Shots,
a little bit of a
course.
breather.
Yeah.
But hey, he's been good.
Yeah.
And Warman, the game that we went to, had some chances too, and Finn was good. But it'd be interesting to see what he does up front and in net.
But I think definitely this year's Matthew Keeper is Sam Ward, and I think it's in terms of the turnaround point. And it's really it's but like you said, 9 days right now. That's something that we're going to keep pounding into people's heads here over the next week or so. There is 9 days until the December trade freeze, where teams cannot make a trade after December 10th. Will something big go down? We've seen every year now for the last. Since we've been involved in the SJHL media, I think every year there has been a significantly impactful trade between December 1st and December 10th. Almost every year, the Clay Sleva trade went down in that window a couple years ago. Stuff like that. It seems like every year there is one very, very significant one. Will we see that happen in the next 9 days?
The trade of the decade, that was.
It really was, and it's still paying off as we talk about a lot. So we'll see. Is it something like that going to go down? We saw a pretty big trade last week. We've seen some pretty big trades kind of shake up some things. Will we see that one that we're going to talk about for 2-3 years down the road happen? We'll see. We'll see. The tough part is, Nugsy, and maybe we'll end it here with the segment. This is going to be odds and ends.
Yeah.
The tough part is, I'll include standings in this. If you look at the standings, let's bring that up, the overall league standings. I don't know what team in this league right now is going to want to trade too many significant players within the league itself.
I've heard that a lot from coaches.
Yeah.
Be like, I don't really want to trade him in league. If I'm looking to trade this kid, I don't want to trade him in league.
Right.
I've heard that time and time again.
Because from, and I'm going to include Melfort in this conversation despite their struggles right now, there is a lot of teams with playoff aspirations, and rightfully so. I don't see why you wouldn't. Exactly. No offense to Larange and Warman in terms of their significant older players, but I think I think Larange and Warman want to probably keep their significant older players because they need those guys right now, and they're important to their team. And I don't know how many guys they're going to want to move out in that regard. Maybe a couple here and there. I'll let them do the talking themselves, but I don't think you're going to see Melfort trade too many guys to Kindersley, for example. I don't think you're gonna. Well, I guess they just did that.
That's exactly what just happened.
I picked two random teams, and that backfired on me.
It's like Peter Griffin in Family Guy. Basically.
But I don't think you're gonna see Melville and Battleford swap guys, for example. I don't think you're gonna see Yorkton and Estevan swap guys because both teams have the exact same aspirations, and it's going to be interesting. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. Unless one of these teams thinks, you know what, this year's not our year. We're going to take a step back and let our young guys go.
Yeah, who knows?
I just don't see too many teams in that scenario right now. So it's really interesting. But we're going to see some. I think we're going to see some out of league trades of significance. Yeah. It's just a matter of who and
or
when.
Guys hoping to get like CJHL rights.
Right.
And try to lure them if it's not working out where they are, kind of thing.
I think that might be where we see maybe a couple of things happen where maybe a guy's playing in the North American League, maybe a guy's kind of in BC right now or the USHL, and they think there's a chance, the WHL, where there's a chance maybe that guy is coming and they go, okay, we're going to go all out for this guy. Or he's not going to report to a team and they say, okay, we're going to go all out for that guy, get his rights and hope. We might see a couple of those.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, that's odds and ends. That wraps up the headline segment, Nugsy. Sure. Let's take a look now at it happened earlier in the week, last week. So let's have a look back at Preston Patenaude of the Weyburn Red Wings with an all-timer on a penalty shot, Nugsy. Let's have a look.
Right at him. Shoots. Oh, what a save! As Patenaude flashes the glove. As Ziola had him beat, but somehow at that last second, Patenaude throws that glove up there.
What a save.
Wow, what a glove save to keep this one at a 2-1 score.
The Tourism Saskatchewan highlight of the week, again, courtesy of Preston Patno. What a save. And, you know, that happened earlier last week to the point where this weekend we're like, hey, what was the highlight of the week? We'd forgotten that basically got cemented as the highlight of the week. I think it was like Tuesday last week. We'd forgotten, and then Bryce in the back was like, we already got it. We locked it in last week.
There were a lot of great plays, though.
Oh, there was.
People were sending him in, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I watched as well a bunch, and I was like, wow, that was great. So
Yeah,
it was a really entertaining weekend.
Yeah, it was. So thank you. And again, if you do see something and you want to let us know, if you're at a game or you're watching online on Flow Hockey and you want to let us know, you tweet us at SJHL or at me and Nugsy on Twitter or wherever, and let us know if you see a big play, and we'll include it. Thankfully, some of the teams have been doing that for us. They've been sending us stuff, and coaches and marketing people. So keep doing it. We love to hear it. So, Nugsy, Nugs and Notes, there was one trade. So I'm going to let you get to that and whatever else you got in Nugs and Notes. All right.
There you go.
What you got?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it was American Thanksgiving last week, so happy Thanksgiving belatedly to the Americans. I guess we forgot to mention it, on the show on Insider on Thursday.
Right. I guess that was the day.
We were trying to move a guest to there, actually, but he was like, I can't. I have American Thanksgiving. But thank you for Rylan and Hugh jumping in. It was awesome. So a couple Americans mentioned, just run them down the list quickly in the league. I'm going to miss somebody, not on purpose. Obviously, Colton Getzlaff and Cole Beasley on Estevan from North Dakota, Devin Peck, Matt Bradley, they're both Americans. Levi Cosma from Arizona on Humboldt, Cam Grandes from Florida on Humboldt, Owen Turner's from Michigan on Melville, David Vitz from Missouri, from Larange, Huddy Kerr from Minnesota, Mason Moreland from California, both Warman boys, as well as Michael Tate III from Michigan, Ryder McDonald, Owen Roberts, Drew Heil, Zach Hertz, all Americans on Yorkton. So there you go. Happy Thanksgiving. We're happy to have you up here in the SJ. A couple trades that I can talk about. Again, one big one's coming soon, so stay tuned to sjhl.ca. But I can't mention it, unfortunately. Easton Adrian saga continues, and I guess it's done for us on the SJHL. The Nipawin Hawks have sent his rights to Scheller in the Maritime League. Scheller's doing well there. They're 16-9, lead the North Division there in the MHL. So hopefully Easton gets playing time and figures things out over there. And Jared Bigelow has been traded. He hasn't played yet in the regular season. He played 3 preseason games for Flin Flon, coming back from an injury. But he's healthy now, is my understanding, and he's going to go from Flin Flon to Warman, and Warman really needed a D-man. They were down to 6. So he's finally healthy. According to Mike Reagan, he skates really well, he defends really well, he competes really well. And another thing I like about him, 07 birth year, big boy, 6'3". He's already played 84 junior games in junior B, but still 84 as an 07. So that's a lot of junior hockey. Stay tuned to SJHL.ca. Lots more coming. We've got the Viking Cup coaches are coming as well. We got that announcement coming up soon in the next couple of days, I hope. And we'll get more moving on that. And of course, we'll be talking about the Junior A World Challenge here in a bit too. So that should be a lot of fun.
And if you were paying attention, Nugsy said there's a big trade that he can't mention. Oh boy.
Little teaser. Teaser.
Exactly. Thank you, Bryce. You know what? We have our guest in for the next segment. So I think we'll call that a segment. We'll call that segment 1. Obviously a very eventful weekend, a ton going on around the league. And so thank you to everybody for tuning in. If you're watching again on Facebook or YouTube, please hit the like button. While you're waiting during the commercial break, hit the share button. Let's get this circulating a little bit as much as possible. And then if you're watching on Twitter, hit like and share and retweet as well, please. Our guest coming back out of the break will be Nipawin Hawks forward Mason Karakochuk. So stay tuned, and we'll talk to him right after the break.
The Price Beat Guarantee is back at Capital GMC in Regina. We will beat any price on any new vehicle from any competitor, or you get $500 cash guaranteed. The Price Beat Guarantee at Capital GMC in Regina.
At Vatterstad, we're partnering with North American farmers to create the perfect emergence. We're doing this with new and innovative tillage, planting, and seeding solutions, optimized for the field conditions that you face, and with industry-leading capacities to help you get the job done in short windows of time, so you can maximize yields. Vatterstad, we look forward to growing together.
Every ticket you buy funds programs all across Saskatchewan, like sports. Buy your tickets today.
In the last decade, the construction industry has reduced injuries by 46%. That's as many injuries prevented that would fill several stadiums. Find out more at scsaonline.ca.
Feeling like your dreams are out of reach? RBC has programs and resources to help you open the door. With RBCX Music, RBC Training Ground, and RBC Scholarships, your idea of your highest potential happens here.
Original 16. Celebrate things done well.
All right, welcome back inside for SJHL Weekly. Clark with Neugebauer beside me here, and we're heading out on the video chat line now to be joined by Nipawin Hawks forward Mason Karakochuk. Mason, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely, it's always a pleasure.
It's been a busy, in a successful way, a busy streak here for the Nipawin Hawks. 4 in a row you guys have won. Seems like things are clicking right now. Mason, what has been the biggest key to success in your eyes?
I just think it's character as a whole. I mean, our team is seriously starting to gel. I mean, guys are finding their roles. We have an absolute rock of a goalie back there with Gage Roberts, and with our depth, you could put any line out there and it can compete with any other team's first line. We got a fourth line that's scoring almost a goal per game. I think that's an extremely huge part to our success right now. But yeah, we're showing a lot of character. Guys are buying into roles. We're body checking. We're forechecking. We're turning pucks over, getting pucks on net, and grinding out wins.
Yeah, we talked to your head coach, Tad Kozin, a couple weeks ago here, Mason, and he was saying at the time, this was at the time, I don't know what that was, a month and a half ago, something like that. And he was really kind of proud and boasting about your team's ability to win games early in the season without scoring a ton of goals. And now over the last month or so, the offense has really turned it up. What can you attest to that? I mean, we talked a lot about Brendan Olsen's arrival on the team. That's really sparked some stuff. But what can you attest? Maybe you already said it with the depth of the roster, but what's really been the turnaround point in terms of those goals really piling on?
Yeah, we made a couple line changes. You add a guy like Brendan Olsen, who's really been a great fit with us. He's activated Eric Hoynes, I think, a lot. That guy started off a little bit slow, but he just kept to the process and he's found himself. I mean, great hockey player. And you got a guy like Ole who's fast. He'll go in the corners. He's a power play guy. Yeah. And then, like I said, again, like our fourth line scoring, our third line scoring, Connor Watson scoring, our power play's not scoring, but like 5-on-5, we're a team that's hard to play against, and goals are going to come. They're going to not come. I mean, we just played Melfort the other night. I think we had 40-some shots. Their goalie played amazing. We had opportunities. The special thing about us is a minute left. We got a goal. We got it done in overtime. It's a really ballsy win from us.
For sure. Using some big words and some short words. They're activated. That's a good word, Mason. Well done. Man, this guy's coming for our job. Good grief. I got to watch my back with this guy. Yep. Look, Mason, you've been around the league. I feel like you've been in the SJHL for like 15 years now. I'm sure you feel that way.
He hasn't.
You haven't. I don't think that's legal. But 118 games, I looked it up, in the SJHL with the Nipawin Hawks, all with the Nipawin Hawks. And I got to ask you, what has been the the key for Tad Kozin and this staff, of course, for keeping this core that you guys have had together with Radloff, with Hoynes, with Roberts, kind of the list goes on. I'm not avoiding anybody on purpose. But you just seem like have this real core that's stuck together. And it seems like in junior hockey, people keep saying it's so hard to keep guys together, so hard to keep guys together. What has been the key for you guys to keep guys together?
Yeah. Well, last year was a little bit of a struggle. But Tad did a great job of keeping the fun in the game. We got to do team events, got to go out as a team, still continued to act like a team that wants to win. We practiced hard, we pushed each other, and everybody had the idea that, we come back and we're going to be a serious contender. Like, we have all the pieces. Another good thing is, like, we're all best friends. Like, we hang out with each other every day. Everybody's invited. We try to include everybody. We want our 26-man roster to know that everybody is needed, everybody's wanted and important. And I think that when you go through a year like last year, when there's a ton of adversity and not a lot of winning, it really brings guys together. Like, people talk about the runs and, you go deep with the team and you get really close, but when you lose as a team, you almost get brought even closer. And we had this idea that, we come back and we train and we do our thing over the summer and we get a little break. We could do something special here in Nipawin.
I love the intentionality of that. I think a lot of guys who are on teams that are struggling think, I got to get out of here, or, how do we, turn this around? It seems like you guys have a great attitude and great work with that. Speaking of which, I got to ask you about, as I mentioned, you've been in this league a long time. If you could go back 3 years, whatever it was, obviously that team with, Evan Forrest and obviously young Finn Radloff, and the list goes on, Artem Prabovetsky and et cetera. You had you had some of these vets who could really, play offense as well, and you got to watch them. If you could kind of go back and give that young Mason Karakochuk a little piece of advice, what would you give him?
That it's not as easy as you think it's going to be. I was kind of a 17-year-old cocky kid that had a great camp and just expected myself to be a first liner. Maybe to take things a little bit more seriously as well. This is all we have during the day. Like, if guys work and whatever else, but when you're at the rink, this is your kind of job. But I also wish I could have just told myself to watch those guys and learn from those guys. Because looking back now, when I look at it, I mean, I had some great people on that team that taught me it wasn't easy, and were great teammates to me. That wasn't an easy season for myself either. The team was kind of underperforming. I was underperforming. But when you have 20-year-old guys and 19-year-old guys that are there to pick you up and say, you just got to stick to it. It makes a difference. And that's kind of like the player I want to be myself.
There you go. That's a great answer. 40 points last year, point per game this year. So I would consider you a skilled forward. The reason I say that is because I'm setting up the question. Your head coach was a pretty skilled forward back in the day. I don't know if he brags about it or boasts about it too often.
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure he does a little bit. But he put up a few points in this league. What has been something where his coaching style and the way that he was as a player maybe has translated to helping you out with something? Has there been something specific that you can tell us that you've picked up from Tad specifically since you've joined the Nipawin Hawks?
Yeah, absolutely. Tad is still an amazing hockey player, by the way.
Yeah.
With him, you know he's played pro before. But yeah, Tad's been my coach for 3 years. He's taught me lots. And obviously with some offensive aspects, just like adding deceptions on my shots. When you're shot consistently, defensemen eventually learn and get in a lane, get a stick on it, put a puck out. Once you get your feet moving, get towards the net, get shots on goal, get your head up, that kind of stuff. The thing about Tad is he's always very kind about it. Like, he'll never sit there and yell at you. He's always he's a player's guy, and he understands how his players work, and he wants the best for you.
You mentioned Tad's still a good hockey player. Just for the record, and I'm sure he would love for us to mention this, but he has played 3 games this season with the Tisdale Ramblers of the Wheatland Saskatchewan Hockey League, and he has 11 points, 9 goals in 3 games. So yeah, no, he's still good. He's still good. A lot of 3.5.
He still got it.
Yeah, 3.5 points per game.
Does he jump into a lot of drills and stuff too, or is he a coach that doesn't jump into drills?
When we're missing forwards, he'll jump into a drill for sure, and he plays like he's got full equipment on. So
he'll just drill some rookie. There you go. I bet he would too. That's Tad for you. Last one for me before, I don't know if you have another one,
no,
but just rapid fire. But just talk about being a Saskatchewan boy, playing in the SJHL. Like, I don't know how much growing up you paid attention to it and watched it being a Saskatoon kid, but obviously it seems like, the work that we've done as a league, we've tried to, make this league as Saskatchewan as possible, and you've kind of carried that flag as one of the many Saskatchewan kids around for a while. I guess just talk about playing as a Saskatchewan kid in the SJHL.
Well, to me, it's super important. I mean, I have a lot of family here. It's kind of a blessing when your family could come to any game that they wanted. We got the winter roads and whatnot, but it's an honor. You don't realize how good of a league it is, and an opportunity to be close to home. When my mom and dad could come to home games, they could come to away games. It's really special. I think everybody likes to play in front of family. It makes the games just a little bit more special.
Well, with that, just a little spoiler, because it's coming out. Oh, it just came out, actually. So I might as well just go ahead and say it. Mason, you got the Cantera Seeds Saskatchewan Player of the Week. So congrats to that.
Thank you.
And one thing that I just wanted to, we got a question actually from a viewer. So let's bring that one back up if you don't mind. Oh, there you go. There's your graphic. Why don't we bring that one back up from Kevin Radloff? I think Kevin's Finley's dad, right?
Yeah.
Kevin says, make sure to ask Mason about practicing his pinball skills. I'm not sure exactly what the story is there. Maybe you can fill us in.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. Finley, he's my neighbor, pretty much. We back him in this little court of ours. And in his basement, his dad has a little hobby of pinball machines and has a little cubby and about 6 pinball machines. And me and Finn have found ourselves down there quite a bit this year trying to get better. But nobody can top Kev. He's an unreal player.
He's got all the high scores, huh?
There you go. Way to go, Kev.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Hey, just beating up on little kids, eh, Kev? Good for you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, rapid fire time. You know like how rapid fire works, Mason. I don't need to spell it out to you. You're a smart kid. And really, wow, so insightful, man. Well done to your folks.
Yep.
Like, you're a very smart kid. All right. Okay, Movember just ended. Didn't go great for the Nipawin Hawks.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Be honest. We're not
going to
hammer anybody. But who does have the best muzzy on the team?
Okay, well, I won't say myself, so I'll say Van Taylor.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go.
So, the best barbecue joint in the SJHL is easily the Smokehouse. Can I say the whole name of the
Yeah,
thing?
we're not. We don't have an exclusive.
The Dam Smokehouse.
Yeah, we don't have an exclusive.
Is easily the best
right
barbecue place in the SJHL. What is your Dam Smokehouse order?
Ooh, I will go with the Nashville chicken burger with sweet potato fries.
I think that is the correct answer. We got a ding. I
Yeah.
heard that was the right answer.
So here's the best part about that is no, we don't have an exclusive barbecue sponsorship with anybody else, so we can say that their full name.
No, but I'm just saying, can I say the word damn?
Oh, yeah, it's their name. It's their business name.
I don't know.
But the best part about that is, with you saying that now, A,
it's so good.
They are probably going to give you free food because they're thankful for it.
I would love that.
And B, other places around the league might want to challenge it now, so maybe we'll get some. We'll get a challenge going on. I'm just saying.
Next roadie, I'm getting Jacob.
Throw that out there.
Next roadie, I'm getting Jacob to stop there. All right. Who is the best golfer on the team? I understand that there's some great golfing around Nipawin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 beautiful courses around here. That's tough. I will go with, I'll say Will Witter.
Okay.
There you go. So I know, your dad and Finn's dad have been really supportive, and we really appreciate them tuning into all the things that we do. So we really appreciate that. And Gage's dad as well. So it's just awesome to see the support from the Hawks parents, great group of people. But who on the team, of the players, who is the team dad?
Ooh.
Okay, this one's actually easy. We have a 20-year-old defenseman named Noah Heinrich, for sure the team dad, most responsible guy I know.
There you go. Everybody's got to be on time for meetings, I'm sure. There you go. All right, then the last one for you, Mason, then I'll let you go. Really appreciate your time. What is your favorite road atmosphere in the SJ?
Ooh. I don't want to shout out any other ranks, but
don't pick a division rival then. Just pick one down south or something.
Up there in the UPL, they hate each other. It's lovely. Love it.
Like, playing in Flin Flon's fun, but I can't say that one. So
good.
Respect.
I like Estevan. Nice rink. They always have a decent crowd, and we always have a good game against them.
There you go. Nice. Good answer. Diplomatic answer.
Hey, tell you what, those are two fun teams to watch. Play against each other too, probably. So.
Well, there you go. Mason, appreciate your time today, buddy. Great interview, and we'll chat again soon, I'm sure. Keep up the good work up there in Nipawin.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, pal.
There you go, Mason Karakochuk. Again, we teased it, we spoiled it, but the Cantera Seeds Saskatchewan Player of the Week. And Nipawin has a couple other award winners. So after the break, we're going to make sure to announce that now. The Players of the Month, they've been out for a couple hours. But go ahead, we're going to announce that after the break, and then also Players of the Week. And we'll give you an update on what's coming up this week as well. So stick around till after the break. We got some for you.
Feeling left out of can't-miss moments? RBC has programs and resources to help you open the door. RBC clients get access to concerts, Avion rewards, and exclusive benefits. Your idea of memorable moments happens here.
Each year, the SCSA issues over 10,000 training certificates to the construction professionals who build our province. That is the same population as Weyburn. Learn more at scsaonline.ca.
Ticket you buy funds programs all across Saskatchewan, like arts and culture. Buy your tickets today.
Introducing SaskTel Student Saving Tips. Tip number 138. You could build your own pallet furniture.
So you're living on your own. You can save money by building furniture with pallets.
Or get Infinet 150 for only $50 a month with SaskTel student deals.
Original 16. Celebrate things done well.
All right, welcome back inside SJHL Weekly. And I guess, hey, breaking news. We can talk about it. Remember earlier, I think this was the one you were referring to, where Nugsy was like, I got a big trade I can't tell you about. And I was like, remember, there's a big trade. We can announce it. We can talk about it. Yes, thank you. So the Humboldt Broncos continue to add blue liners, or at least rights to blue liners. We'll see what happens there. But they have traded Brock Inglis forward to the LaRange Ice Wolves for the CJHL rights, or maybe just the player, Nathan De Silva. If you remember, Nathan De Silva was quite productive defenseman last year for the Orange Ice Wolves. He was in the NAHL, I believe.
Oklahoma, Oklahoma
so
Warriors.
again, it's his CJHL rights. We'll see what happens there, Nugsy, but I don't know if you have any other insights in that.
They just wanted to wait and make sure cross the
Cross
T's?
the I's and dot the
I's?
T's. Yep.
One of those. So they wanted to make sure that all was good. Obviously, De Silva talked about Bigelow.
Yeah.
De Silva's played a lot of junior hockey games too. We talked about him being a young player, but he played a lot BC Junior B before coming to the SJ with Kerry Park. So again, if Humboldt can get him, obviously they just added Walia, they just added Grande, they just got Knutson back, they got McElwain back.
Right.
Interesting. And Brock Ingles, I think he's a talented kid, just needs kind of that role. If De Silva can go to Humboldt though, again, we talked about how we don't think there's going to be a lot of big moves between guy who's on roster and guy who's on roster in our league and bring them together, but like a guy who needs a role for a guy who's guy's rights, and see if they can bring him back. I think that's a big win for Humboldt to get De Silva if they can. And I think again we've seen Kevin Kaminski bring guys in this year, and we've seen them do really well.
Right.
Young guys, especially. They're trying to find ways to win.
This could be a great
but they've done
spot
well.
for Brock Inglis. It could be a great spot. So this is a good trade. I like this for both sides, and like we said, opportunities come. And the opportunities open up, and I think this one for Brock is a great one, and I think it's a good fit for Laurent, who needs a little bit of scoring punch up front. And maybe this is a great spot where he can kind of take off. And Nathan De Silva, if he's coming back to the league, what better spot and opportunity than in Humboldt, where again, first place a couple weeks ago. It's a bit of a slide here, and he can slide right in and maybe steady the boat a little bit.
We don't 100% know that he is going to come to Humboldt either, like right now. So that is probably why there's sort of like PDF and futures and blah 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 like attached to it on like a if it doesn't work out sort of thing. But it seems like there's probably people who know somebody who knows somebody, blah blah blah, with Humboldt to at least give it a great shot. We've seen that a lot. So.
Now, to your point, Nugsy, yes, at the time of hearing about the trade, we didn't know. But if you read Humboldt's article about the trade, it says De Silva will join the Broncos ahead of their upcoming matchup.
Okay.
So maybe they knew a little bit more, and they said, okay, we're doing it, and he's coming. There you go. This could be a big swing. And like we said, I mean, I teased it earlier on in the show of the types of trades that happen between December 1st and December 10th when the freeze hits.
Yeah.
This could be one of them.
Kevin Kaminski was a popular dude. Like a lot of teams in our league were trying to get at De Silva. So for Humboldt to get him is a good pickup.
This could be one of those trades that we talk about for a while that could pay off huge. So there you go. Nathan De Silva to the Broncos, Brock Ingles to the Laurent Ice Wolves. There you go, big trade. Why don't we have a look at the players of the month? Because I teased it for a while. It's out on SJHL.ca. So let's have a look now at the players of the month and the players of the week. So why don't we just throw the animation up there for, it's time for the players of all of it, all of the month and the week and everything. Here we go. We'll start with the players of the month, as I mentioned. And we can't look anywhere else for SGEU MVP of the month except for Rylan Williams. He was the clear winner of this one, I think, in my mind. 17 points this month, 9 goals in 10 games. And it's not just him. I know it's not just him. It's his line. It's his entire line. We might talk about another player on his line in a little bit. But Nugsy, Rylan Williams, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and Rennie had the same amount of points as well. So, but again, Rylan would be the first. He's such a team dude. He'd be the first to say this is a line award. And I wrote that in the article, and Rylan is clear. I know for sure that Rylan is thinking that way too. So kudos to that line.
Absolutely.
MVP of the league for that line.
And yeah, you're right. You and Rennie, same amount of points, I think, but Rylan has way more
Rylan
goals.
has been good, and I would say what power forward in the league is better than him right now?
Yeah, he's on fire.
No way.
The Borgo forward of the month. We're going to go down the road to his division rival, Gabriel Courchain. 14 points in 8 games played, Nugsy. The points per game is unreal. And he's really been a huge reason, and we talked about it a lot earlier in the show, for that spark in terms of the Yorkton Terriers putting some wins together lately. So yeah, Gabriel Courchain. Do you want to talk about him? Because we're going to talk about his teammate too.
He plays defense too. Like he plays in his own end too. So he's not just a scorer. Even though he's not big, he doesn't play small.
Yeah, exactly. The Super U Defenseman of the Month, and just might as well just get used to him because I'm just going to say it right now. He's also the Super U Defenseman of this past week as well. Sam Ward. We might as well throw both graphics up, Jordan, just so we can get it out of the way. Sam Ward of the Flin Flon Bombers, the Defenseman of the Month and week. Yeah. And boy, we mentioned him a lot. We talked about him. He's really seems to be that catalyst to the turnaround up in Flin Flon.
Good thing I sent Kelly 2 different pictures.
Yeah, so we could go back to back.
Yeah, hey, he's been great. He's never been a massive points guy until this year, and obviously something has really worked out. But yeah, he's a long-time Swift Current Bronco.
A lot of WHL
people in the
experience.
people in Saskatchewan will know him well, and played for Wenatchee as well. But good for him.
Yeah, good for him. The SaskTel Goaltender of the Month. I mean, we've said his name a ton this month. It seems that we can't do an awards ceremony segment without this guy.
Well, he can go back to back too.
He's also the goalie of the week as well, so we might as well throw both graphics up for him too. Gage Roberts of the Nipawin Hawks. Holy cow.
The guys in the back are going to be mad at us because we didn't tell them we were going to do it like this. But it does work out. Now it makes sense now that we think about it.
Yeah. No, I'm throwing a lot at Jordan, and he's crushing it, as I knew he would.
But I love Mason giving Gage a lot of kudos to the team. Obviously, you look at the Nipawin roster, all sorts of firepower.
Yeah.
But I said it, and Mason Karakochuk also said it. It started with Gage.
Yeah, absolutely. The Sask Milk Rookie of the Month for November, Estevan Bruins star rookie, Cash Olsen. Thank you, Bryce. Cash Olsen, 10 points in 10 games, and this guy just seems to be the perfect fit for that line where you have 2 superstar 20-year-olds, and then this guy slides in, and boy, has he been a good fit for Estevan.
Yeah, well, I said in the article, it says a lot about him and what Drew Kosher thinks about him, that he just sticks on that line, because they could have all sorts of dudes. They brought in Teterenko and Harvey and other guys. They could have been like, you know what, you're a veteran, pop him in there. Nope, like Cash Olsen deserves it on a merit, not just because he's a rookie. He's been awesome, and I loved him at the Western All-Star Challenge too. He scored a beautiful goal.
And with Cash Olsen, that's allowed Estevan to keep some of their veterans on other lines and really spread out their offense, and it's been working. So shout out to Cash Olsen. The Canterra Seeds Saskatchewan Player of the Month. We're going back to Yorkton. We're going back to Gabriel Corshane's line. It's Jai Zawatsky. 13 points in 8 games, 6 of those goals, Nugsy. And we've talked about him quite a bit too. He's really taken this role with the Yorkton Terriers and run with it, especially in the month of November.
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about that the MVP being a line award. Like, this is kind of a line award too. Jai's been great. Like, Jai's been such a good player ever since he joined the league.
Yeah.
He's always been he used to be so tiny.
Yeah.
Just blowing up and down that wing. You couldn't catch him, but he was so small.
Yeah.
He's put on some pounds, it looks like. I think he's been heavier on the puck. I think that gives him a lot of help. But that line does work so perfectly too. So you think about Gabe Corshane, protects the puck so well, and then obviously Jai blows up and down the wing, and then William Leonard, who we don't talk about enough, because even though he's not that big, he is a physical kid. When he hits you, he hits you hard. He goes to the dirty areas and scores dirty goals. Doesn't claim the glory as much as some of these other guys, but William Leonard is so important for that line too. So hey, the Bungie division's got some lines. Telling you.
It's going to be a fun finish for that division. We keep saying it, and sorry if it sounds like a broken record, but boy, it is exciting. So there's the Players of the Month. Let's switch over to the Players of the Week. We've already mentioned 2 of them, but the SJEU MVP of the Week is going to Melville Millionaires newcomer Matthew Spencer Dahl.
Winner.
Yes. Goaltenders we don't always give the MVP of the week to a goalie. Why not? This one was pretty obvious, I feel like, this week. He came in and really, really shut the door for Melville.
Yeah, and again, kid, we talked about him earlier, comes in from Winnipeg, not sure what we're going to get. Just terrific. Simple, keeps it simple. Love it.
The Borgo Forward of the Week, we're going up to Flin Flon. They had a good weekend as well. Maverick Delisle from the Flin Flon Bombers, 6 points in 2 games this weekend. And a big reason why they were able to put so many goals up on the board.
Yeah, he's been really good, especially on the wing of that power play for Flin Flon. They find him on the right side of that sort of classic Mike Reagan 1-3-1, and he's actually got such a wicked release. If we had the all-star skills and we had the target sort of practice stuff, like, I think Maverick would be a real player in there. And he just goes to show, and I've been saying this for a long time, But that Cégep League in Quebec is terrific. He didn't play a game of junior hockey before he came to Flin Flon.
Right.
Stepped in to be terrific, and we've seen lots of really good Cégep, like college players coming out of Quebec. So
there you go.
He's good.
We mentioned the defenseman of the week already. We mentioned the goalie of the week already, just to reiterate, Sam Ward and Gage Roberts. So I'll leave those ones. The Sask Milk rookie of the week, we're staying in the crease. And we're going to Weyburn. Nate Stevens with a shutout victory earlier this week for the Weyburn Red Wings over L'Orange. And Nugsy, this guy he could be the next one in this league. What do you think about that statement?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I've gave my rant about Preston Patnaud on SJHL Insider last time too, about how impressed I am with him as a young man. Yeah, hey, it'd be interesting to see, are those the two guys that are the answer for Weyburn? I mean, Cody Mapes loves them. Cody Mapes, by the way, will fight you about all of his players. Yeah. If you ever say a thing about any of his players, he will fight you appropriately.
Right.
But verbally. But yeah, both of those guys are terrific. Nate Stevens, you mentioned it. You talked to Wapple, your buddy
Daniel
there,
Wapple, goalie coach for Weyburn.
He said like he's pretty special, and you know I wrote about and love Ty Matanovich, what he did in this league. But if it's not for Nate Stevens, they're not moving on Matanovich to Lloydminster. They didn't dump him anywhere. They dumped him to Eric Labrosse, one of the top teams in the AJ. Yeah. So Ty's fine. Yeah. But Stevens is gonna properly reap some rewards there in Weyburn. And he's been great.
And we already, you know what? I forgot we mentioned the Cantera Seeds Saskatchewan Player of the Week, but just for good measure, Mason Karakochuk of the Nipawin Hawks.
The philosopher.
Yeah.
I'm going to start calling him the philosopher because he was so insightful.
Yeah, the professor. 5 points this week in, again, a very big week for Nipawin with a couple big wins.
And it's Karakochuk.
It's
not Karakochuk. I'm not saying you saying it.
Did I say it wrong?
No. I'm not saying you did. Lots of other people call him Karakochuk or Karakochuk. Or it's Karakochuk.
Karakochuk. Whereas you see his dad on Twitter, it's Karki. His name is @Kevin Karki.
Yeah, so everybody go follow him and be very nice.
Yeah. So there you go. Shout out to all the winners, all 12 of them for the month of November and this past week. Let's have a look at the upcoming schedule. We have a couple games on Tuesday, tomorrow night. One of them is in Weyburn against the Yorkton Terriers. The Weyburn Red Wings will be hosting them. It's a big Bungie Division matchup there. And then up in L'Orange, a UPL Division matchup between the L'Orange Ice Wolves and the Nipawin Hawks, Nugsy.
The Finley Radloff Cup, I like to call it. Because Finley Radloff is from L'Orange originally and moved to Nipawin, where he's obviously the captain of his hometown team. Yeah. But he's originally from L'Orange.
Yeah. So a couple good games and maybe our first opportunity to see Brock Ingles in the L'Orange Ice Wolves uniform. So there you go.
That's what
you might be wearing the outfit too.
Oh, that's a nice outfit.
You might be wearing it. You might be wearing the outfit too. Maybe you'll get a sweatsuit or something. I don't know.
Yeah, hope so.
Hoodie. But anyways, there's a couple big games. So that's a good start to the week. Then nothing until the weekend. So it's going to be a big Tuesday night. We'll get it all covered for you on Thursday on SJHL Insider. Nugsy.
Yep.
Final word to you. Final word before we say goodbye to the people?
Yeah, I just love, you meet some of these young men and they're so insightful and they're clearly well raised. Like, I was so impressed with Mason. And I've been so impressed with so many of these kids. I had a great chat with Tice Penrod at the Western All-Star Challenge. The list goes on. Like, the kids in this league are such wonderful human beings. That's my favorite thing. That's the thing that I miss about being the Notre Dame Hounds broadcaster is being around like the players,
seeing them all the time,
getting to know them and a little bit more than this. Yeah, I'm very grateful for this gig. Yeah. But obviously talking to Mason is awesome too. So cool stuff.
Definitely. And some big stuff this past weekend. Thank you for sticking with us while we recapped it all. Let's thank our sponsors before we head out. Cantera Seeds, Capital Auto Mall, Canalta Hotels, SGEU, Sask Lotteries, UPL. Of course, UPL, you can see them right beside me here. They are the broadcast sponsor for our shows. Chevrolet, Great Western, SaskTel, RBC, Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association, and Vaderstad. And of course, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, X, or YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the like button. We got you covered for everything, and get your Flow Hockey subscription so you can check out all of the games online if you can't make it to the rink. But Nugsy, our attendance numbers are up this year so far. People are getting out to the rinks, and now with farming all done, wrapped up for the year, those rinks are going to be filled, and you don't want to watch a game anywhere other than a packed rink in Saskatchewan. Boy, those are the best environments. I'll say it. We have some great communities in this league, and like Mason said, he doesn't want to give too much credit to his divisional rivals.
They
up
hate
in
each
the
other up
UPL.
there. I love it.
Man, that is a great area of hockey in the world. Those 4 teams, those 4 communities. So again, if you're in the areas, maybe you don't have anything going on. Weyburn's got a game tomorrow night, and Larange has a game tomorrow night. 2 great rinks to get out to, 2 big games. And it's going to be fun. So get out to the rinks and enjoy the hockey, everybody. And we'll see you again on Thursday, myself and Nugsy for SJHL Insider. It's Clark Munroe, it's Jamie Neugebauer, it's Bryce and Jordan in the back with the IKS Media crew. Oh, you know what? Speaking of the crew, Bryce, and sorry for Jordan because I know he just ran away because he was probably working on the audio. Sorry about that. Do we have the fantasy hockey update?
Well, yeah, fantasy.
Do we have the fantasy
I don't really want to look
update?
at this, so I'm just going to leave.
Yeah, look at me go. The money men are leading the way.
200.
That's me. 209 points. The Bruins had another big weekend for me, and then the Battle for
Benny
Stars
passed
chipped
me.
in.
I'm so upset.
Yeah, Nugsy, you're not even
Come
in
on,
second
Mason.
anymore.
If you're still watching,
Benny
figure it out.
Walchuk just really sneaking in there. And then the Crusaders, the crew, they're in 4th place right now with 171, and Jacob Faith, he's just praying to God that the Flin Flon Bombers keep winning games so he can catch back up.
A lot of mouths to feed.
Most of his team is Flin Flon, which is not a bad thing, but they just got to keep winning games. So there you go. Thank you guys. Sorry for that juke, but now we're done. See you on SJHL Insider on Thursday. Bye for now.
That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, I'd say that'll do it. Yeah, I'd say that would do it.